Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries endorsed the Democratic nominee here for mayor in New York City, Zohran Mamdani. He said in doing so, which obviously everyone had been wondering when this was coming, he described the stakes as existential. He said, we have a clear obligation to push back against the national nightmare being visited on the American people by Republican extremism. Do you think Hakeem Jeffries' endorsement here will make a difference in this race?
No, I don't think it'll make a difference. I think this is a political calculation by Hakeem Jeffries, who's concerned about facing a primary next year by Chiosi, a New York City councilman who supports Zohran Mamdani. Zohran won Hakeem's district with about 70% in the Democratic primary. And I think this is all about self-preservation. But what's fascinating about his comment is he's talking about radical extremism. He is endorsing the most radically extreme candidate for mayor in the history of the United States of America, in the largest city. This is a person who is a self-avowed socialist, who's talking about seizing the means of production, banning private property ownership, defunding the police, legalizing prostitution, shutting down prisons, freezing the rent, free busing, government-run grocery stores, and raising taxes by $9 billion. The American people now know that Hakeem Jeffries supports this radical agenda, and every member of Congress, especially those in New York, should be on the record today whether or not they agree with Hakeem Jeffries and Kathy Hochul that Zohran Mamdani, an avowed socialist who engages in Marxist theory, who refused to denounce globalize the Intifada, who just 2 weeks ago raised money for UNRWA, that Congress has defunded because of its involvement in the October 7th terrorist attack that not only killed innocent Israelis but killed Americans and New Yorkers, and who said he would arrest Bibi Netanyahu but has no opinion on whether Hamas should lay down its arms. That is who Hakeem Jeffries thinks should be leading the financial capital of the world and the largest city in America. Voters should vote accordingly moving forward.
Well, I mean, there's a lot there. But on the taxes, we've talked to Zohran Mamdani about this even before he won, that he really can't do that without Kathy Hochul, and she said she's not going there. But one thing he has run on, you mentioned the
Kathy
grocery stores.
Hochul, excuse me, Kaitlan.
We've seen that.
Kaitlan, hold on one second. Kathy Hochul also said that she wouldn't implement congestion pricing, and then right after the election last year implemented congestion pricing, raising taxes on New Yorkers who commute into New York City by $5,000 on an annual basis.
But
so I don't really care what Kathy Hochul has to say. No.
My point, Congressman.
Zohran Mamdani is advocating to raise taxes by $9 billion.
Okay,
He's trying to raise taxes by $9 billion.
It's not just up to him solely. It's a whole state legislature vote, and it's up to the governor. But one thing that you mentioned,
they've endorsed him, and that's what he's advocating for.
He has run on lowering food prices. That's been a big thing for him. Affordability during this campaign. You mentioned the rent freeze. That is also something that President Trump ran on and vowed to do when he was taking office. We saw new data today that grocery prices are actually not way down, as the president has been describing them. They're up. And I wonder if you're worried that Zohran Mamdani's success on a platform like that brings attention to the fact that that is not something that the White House has been able to make good on since Trump has been in office.
Well, first of all, government-run grocery stores don't work. In Kansas City, they just shut them down because they didn't actually have food. Well, excuse me, let me answer the question. The fact is, that's what he's advocating for. You're saying that his policy is going to reduce grocery prices. It's not. Because his policy is going to lead to a grocery store. It's going to lead to a grocery store that doesn't actually have food, Kaitlan. In terms of overall cost in this country, the fact is inflation is down. The fact is that prices are coming down. And the fact is that the economy is growing, okay? GDP at 3.9% is up significantly from the Biden administration. And the fact is we passed a tax bill that will actually reduce taxes for nearly every American in this country, including, by the way, in New York, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut under the Working Families Tax Cut bill. So we are reducing prices, we are reducing costs, and we are putting money back in the pockets of hardworking Americans. What Zohran Mamdani is advocating for, Kaitlan, is to raise taxes by $9 billion in the highest tax state in America. And if you think that policy is going to work, it is not. It is going to lead to a mass exodus from New York.